So welcome to the Whole Life Living TV show. I am Sherry Gideons. I am an international speaker, transformational leader, life mastery coach, and former professional fitness bodybuilder, figure bodybuilder. This is the Whole Life Living show, a show that explores simple ways to live life at your highest potential through the latest outstanding topics, advice, and positive news from a healthy, happier, more loving, conscious mindset with internationally known guests and everyday people sharing simple ways to take belief and apply it towards mastering your dreams in life. I'm very grateful to have you today. If you want to work more with me or know more about me directly, you can visit wholelifeliving.com or my main site, sherrygideons.com. I offer group and individual coaching programs, so please visit wholelifeliving.com to sign up for my newsletter and any updated information on our show guests or upcoming regular tips on living a whole, perfect, and complete life one moment at a time. Today, my guest is Lewis J. Shepherd, transformational leader, mentor, and speaker from Queens, New York, who currently lives in Boise, Idaho with his wife, Jamie Shepherd, and his 2 kids. After losing his best friend of a heart attack due to obesity, Lewis himself, 350 pounds at the time, began his path of living a healthy lifestyle, transforming from 350 pounds to eventually losing 115 pounds to meet his goal of 235 and compete in his first bodybuilding contest. Lewis, previously a financial advisor, now commits his time to promoting the importance of living a healthy lifestyle and helps others to do the same. Lewis asks the question, why do we put more energy into our car, TV, home, etc., but pay little attention to what we eat and make little effort to exercise? I'd like to join me in welcoming Lewis Shepherd onto the show. Hi, Lewis. How are you today?
Hello. And I do apologize. I am having technical difficulties with my camera, and I do apologize being late. I had to figure everything out. So I am here with you, and hopefully you can hear me. And if we could do it, through the voice, that'll be perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. It's all right with you.
Yeah, it's disappointing because the guests like to be able to see you. That's what the greatness of television and live streaming worldwide is about, because then they can really connect with you at that level. But I understand that you are having trouble. Once again, my audience, he is having trouble connecting his webcam. There's an echo from the speakers. It says, try setting the camera in the URL through the camera icon and then just refresh the window. Do you see that in the right-hand side, Lewis? Where one of the guests is telling you? Oh, thank you for telling us that. We appreciate that, Leland. So what he's saying is that try setting the camera in the URL through the camera icon, then just refresh the window, like, maybe refresh the window at the top. But anyway.
I'm nervous to touch anything right now. I'm just so nervous to touch anything right now because I don't want to lose you again.
All right. Too bad. Okay. So, all right. So my first question to you is, and I've interviewed you before on my radio show, so I really know about your history and, the transformation you went through on your journey. And, so this message that you're bringing forward now, why is healthy important? Tell us about that. I mean, why is healthy important to you and should be to, our viewers?
Well, health is so important right now to me in my life because, most of my life I was a big guy, and I always was a big guy. And, I really didn't take anything of it. I almost, 1 year playing football, playing different type of sports out there, baseball. But as you get older, that being big younger, you could kind of lose weight easier. You could really drop pounds a lot easier when you're younger. But when you're older, there's a lot of problems that come with it. Once you start hitting that 35, 40, 45, 50 years of age, a lot of things come along with that. But when you're in your 20s, you feel invincible. So with me, when it happened with myself, when a friend of mine asked me to change, he was like, Lou, you're big. You're really, really, really big, and you can't keep going in that direction. It kind of sparked something in me. And it was just, okay, I'll look into it. I did what everybody else did. Let's see what I could do. Let's see if I can make a change. And in the middle of that change, I lost a friend of a heart attack, and he was 37. That was the biggest thing that was really a concern for me. And that got me to do my first bodybuilding show, because I said, something, what can I do to honor him? And I figured, something, let me transform my body the way I did. Now, going through life, and I took a year off to not do that type of commitment of working out, but I stayed in the lifestyle, and I started enjoying the lifestyle of healthiness. And going on June, it'll be 3 years since I ate from McDonald's. So I'm a McDonald's baby. So I stayed away from all fast food. I don't even eat fast food anymore. And I got to a point where I'm really looking at things a lot differently, and I want to help other people do the same thing. Now, what I'm talking about is, you said it in the opening. I see so many people will put money into their car on a drop of a hat if something breaks down on it. But when it comes to our own physical body, we don't take it that extra step. We don't put it on a credit card and say, maybe I need to get this or get this trainer or do this. We don't do that. We'll say, no, we'll be all right. We'll sleep it off and then just go out and about and do something else. But now is a time where we have to really look at our body as our number one tool. Because what's the sense of having a nice car and getting it fixed up if you're not living to drive it? It's no point.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question, Lewis. I mean, one of the things that, we talked about previously when I've interviewed you, is you bring up how important it is to knowing your why. And living a healthy lifestyle may mean something different from one person to the next. So do you think it is important for every person to know their why before they get started?
Yes, you have to have a why. And the reason why everybody's why is different, because something that affects me might not affect you. Right. So my why, and it was a selfish reason, even though I got a wife and kids, but my why was, I just want to stay alive, and it was just selfish reasons. I wasn't really thinking about them. I was just like, wait, I want to stay alive. Mm-hmm. But the results of me staying alive will affect and impact my kids and my wife. That was the result of it, of me thinking that way. So you got to think about it when you get on a plane. When you get on a plane, the first thing, and you hear the stewardess, the steward person, they're talking about the safety of what you need to do. And one of the things when they say, when the air compression comes out, the little yellow tube is going to come from the top, the airbag. Mm-hmm. They always say, put yours on first and then put your kids on next, or whoever your loved one next to you.
Right.
And if you really think about that, they're telling you need to be around, because you have to protect the one that's next to you to understand that, to be alive, to help them. Because what sense of you're trying to put theirs on first and then you die in a minute, and now you got two people that just passed away. So now they're saying, put yours on first so you can help the young one next to you. And that's how my philosophy was. It was, wait a minute, let me protect me first. Because if I'm not here, it's going to be so much problems with the family. It's going to be so much, they're going to have to, do all the things on their own. And I experienced that through my mother when my dad passed away when I was 11 years old. My mother had to take up the mantle and do everything that's out there. And, sometimes that's a real challenge. A single mother with raising 3 kids, that's a real challenge. And I believe, kids need a mother and a father to be around.
Oh, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, one of the things, obviously, that I'm a retired pro athlete myself. And I mean, I myself had to go through that same question that I had to ask myself in the very beginning. After gaining 100 pounds after a bottom that I hit, trying to meet up to the expectations of others rather than the why I was doing this for Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I discovered when I asked myself the question, you know, why should I lose weight? And this was, you know, this is going back to, you know, knowing that I had the desire inside of me to be healthy, and knowing that I had the desire to, you know, want to be fit and muscular as well. You know, I asked myself the question, why should I lose weight? And then I started to literally connect with that voice within me that started to give me all of the reasons, you know, for my why, which I found to be extremely powerful. What about yourself? I mean, why, you know, why, when you ask your clients or the people that you're looking, you know, to help, and you ask them, why should they lose weight? What do they say?
It's, you know, and I'm not laughing about it, but sometimes I chuckle and I die inside a little bit. And I give you an example. I was talking to individuals, and I was pouring my heart out to them about my why and why I did it for myself. And this is a big individual. And after the conversation, he really just said, I don't, you know, I like the way I am right now. I don't think I need to do it. And it really kind of hurt me, because I know I see it on you. I know what it feels like to be your size. And I was probably, you know, 50 pounds bigger, 50, 60 pounds bigger. I know what it feels like. I know how you walk around the world. I know the comments of what other individuals are saying about you that you probably don't know. I know what it feels like to get on a plane and have to ask for an extension. I know what it feels like to go to a restaurant and eat at a table instead of a booth, because you can't fit in the booth. These things really, really are disturbing, because we really need to start looking at ourselves as accountability. Now, if you're comfortable with your body and where you're at, that's fine. You know, if you like that size, that's perfectly fine. But you have to understand the risk that comes along with being 350 pounds or, you know, obese, so to speak. 350 pounds is myself, but you have to endure all the risks. You know, I know an old colleague of mine, he's a big guy. He probably had me about another 20, 30 pounds, and he's taken a lot of, pills and things like that, and he's in his 30s. So all of these are going to happen. And I don't want to be the person that I could prevent something. If I could prevent something, especially when it comes to death, I'm going to do it. And right. I think when we go to a doctor, the first thing they tell most men over 40, you know, you got to lose weight. You know, most doctors, they tell them that right off the bat. And some take it to heart and do it, and some, you know, don't. And I think right now, especially as men, I'm not taking anything away from women, but as men, as the head of the household, to look at yourself and say, you know, I think I need to make a change right now, at today, not wait till Monday, not wait to the end of the week. Let's make a change right now, because I know there's going to be health problems with you along the way. And I come from, you know, being black out here and coming from the black community. And this is what I know. The black community, we are number one in a lot of things when it comes to heart disease and heart attacks. We're number one. Only thing we're not number one is skincare, or I should say skin disease. You know, so that's something that we really have to take a look at ourselves, because when we go forward, we have to live a longer life. You know, the statistic shows, you know, black men, we die in 70s, you know, and for white men, they have another 10 years on us in 80, 81. These are alarming rates. You know, I love Big Mama, but on Sunday mornings cooking, she's killing us slowly.
Now, why is that, Lewis? I mean, why does it come down to those percentages, you know, black versus white in relationship to health? Well,
because this is, and I'm speaking from where I come from and what I know, and is we, you know, in the black community, we fry everything, you know, and there's everything that is fried. And even if you look in the community itself, all you're going to see is, I could say black community, and I could say lower income community as well. You're going to see nothing but fast food. Why are you going to see fast food? Because it's really cheap. $5 go a long way, and that you cannot get $5 with really healthy, important food. You can't use that salad. A salad at Whole Foods might cost you 10, so, but you only have 5. So why should I do that where I could get 4 burgers and a drink and I'm good? So that's what it is, and that's what's really half the problem right there. And until individuals, in the middle class or poor community understand that the way you eat is what you put in your body to move forward. That's why a lot of times you're tired. You're tired and you go and go watch TV in front of the couch because you're not putting the proper nutrition in your body. So the only thing you want to do is sit on the couch. And if you keep doing that in that cycle, that's what's going to happen. So we really need to change that mindset of saying, something. First thing you have to do, and this is what I believe in, is faith, fitness, and finances. I believe in my faith. Everything that I do, me even coming to Boise was all about my faith. Next thing I worked on, and this is years later, was my fitness. My fitness is a whole different animal. And then you have to work on your finances. And when you look at those 3, and I know people are right now saying, what about family? I get it. I understand. But what happens with the family, as I said before, is the results of those 3. Yeah. So if you work on those 3, they're all the same discipline. They're all the same consistency. If you read your Bible, my pastor always say, read your Bible, fast and pray. Read your Bible, fast and pray. Then your fitness, you eat the proper nutrition. That's a discipline to have your meal plans. Going to the gym, that's a discipline. The same way you make money, you got to do certain appointments every single day to get to this certain number. It's a numbers game. So if you do, 25 cold calls, you might end up with 10 people to talk to and you get 2 sales. It's the same discipline. So if you have all those same disciplines working, you become a better person that you are today.
No, I absolutely agree. One of the things that you mentioned was in the last few weeks that you saw that several of your friends had passed away in their 30s and 40s. Now, was that due to obesity?
I don't know what it was from, but the common theme of from the last 2 weeks was these 3 gentlemen, they were overweight. So I don't know how they died, and it hasn't been released on how they died, but I can only assume and I can only imagine that, yes, the weight has to be a part of that, because they were big guys. Right. They weren't small. So if you see somebody who's overweight that's passed away, look at the gentleman from The Sopranos who passed away a couple of years ago. He was not small. He was a big guy. And what did they find out? Oh, yeah, he had a heart attack. Well, these type of things kind of just led you to believe if you're obese, your life expectancy is not going to be that far. Maybe, you might get someone who's going to, live a longer life. But if I could prevent it, I'm going to go that direction to prevent it. If I'm going to die, it's going to be because I got hit by a bus, in a car accident, something like that. But not with something I can actually prevent and prolong the death of whenever that, happens.
No, I agree. So once you got started with exercise, obviously you started out slowly. So are you suggesting that people should start out slowly, or what did you do? Did you like go full into it immediately, or did you gradually move into exercise? Because, why exercise?
I started as slow as possible.
I can imagine with 350 pounds.
Yeah, I started slow as possible, and the reason why I started so slow because yes, people go into the gym, and I see it all the time. This is going on my 3rd year, my 3rd New Year's Eve resolution with the gym. So I see people come in there, and they go in there and they try to do everything all at once, and then in about 3-4 weeks, they probably disappear. And a lot of times the reason for that is because people try to do it and the pain of working out and doing it so hard at the beginning, you don't want to feel that pain. And it's like, oh, that hurts. Oh, this hurts because you're waking up muscles that you never woke up before, you never used before. So you're waking them up. And with that pain, now that's in your mind that, oh, this workout is going to be painful. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. Every time I go there, it's going to hurt. But the way I started, I got a simple program, and it was a 7-day beginner program that my wife and I did for 2 weeks. And out of those 2 weeks, and then it was the 7 days lasted 2 weeks because I just went food shopping and we had a lot of junk food. And it's like, nope, we're not getting rid of those.
Right.
But we went into it saying, but let's go into it slowly. So when we worked out, that one of the things I had to do was go in the gym, sign up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. That's an accomplishment. I walked out feeling, I'm feeling 10 pounds bigger, or my excitement is getting higher because I'm like, wait a minute, I feel good for that day. I went in, I signed up, and I left. Next day, go into the gym, do 1 set of these 8 exercises, and do it for 8 reps. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could do a bench press. Don't do big weights. Just do something like, I could go in there and do a bench press of, 100 pounds or 90 pounds or whatever it was at the time. And, I can do it 8 times. Yeah. Okay. Now go on. Do the next exercise. Same thing. Do something with your back, a row. I can do those for 8 times. And I did 6 exercises and we done and we left. And doing that for the whole week, every day I felt a sense of accomplishment. I wasn't in pain. I didn't lose weight, but I just felt the sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, this is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 3rd week came, and then that's when my friend passed away. And that's when I said, okay, I think I need to stay in this direction.
Right.
Because going to his funeral and looking at his casket, the only thing that I heard, it was a little still voice in my head saying, something, you could be next, or you will be next.
Mm-hmm.
And at 39, this happened 3 years ago. And at 39, it hit me so hard because seeing that, knowing my dad passed away at 39, and then I'm about to be 40 in March, and this was the following year. So all of that was playing in my mind saying, yeah, this is a possibility that I won't make it past 39. So that's what really happened for us. And then from there, I went into a 12-week program and just hit it hard. And, once you start seeing the results from your clothes, like, oh, this kind of works. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
And I want to point out what I'm hearing from you, and I can really feel it too. What I'm hearing from you is, when you began to change your state of mind and you began to connect with the joy within you, it was the connection of the exercise, but what I'm hearing from you is the joy and the enthusiasm. And then when you start to see the visible changes, then you are really recognizing how you're giving back to yourself, but you're doing it in, through a process, from what I'm hearing, by staying grounded in today.
Yes. What you're seeing is a different person altogether. Now, the same mindset was there, the same, I always had a big ego, and it was a confidence and ego. I really drew, there was a fine line between my ego and my confidence, and I always never crossed that boundary. But when you lose the weight, that line move up more and more. And I always have to watch it because what I'm seeing right now is just the excitement of living again. I just watched a video of myself on the iPad my wife had, and it was at me about 350, and I was playing with my son. And I look at it, you could look at the video and you could laugh about it, but what I saw was someone who couldn't move. And my son at the time was probably 4 years old, and he's running circles around me. and I couldn't move. But when I was in it, I thought I was fine. It was fine. But when looking back at it, looking at the video, it was like, I literally could not move at all. And it was a sad thing. And I'm in tears. Like, I cannot go back to that size again, because it's not only selfish for me to be that size. It's selfish because I'm taking away from the excitement of my kids who wants to play with me. Now, my daughter wasn't born at the time, but my son, Dad, come outside and play. Oh, it's a burden because I'm like, oh, he's gonna want to run, and all right, let's try to do this. And but I'm taking away from his life, and I don't want him to grow up and say, oh no, my dad wasn't there. He couldn't have done that or couldn't do this. Another time was trying to go in a go-kart with him. Oh, that was the worst 8 laps of my life because the seatbelt was so tight on me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was these little things, and now going back and getting in the go-kart now, it's like, whoop, let's go, cause buckle up, let's roll. It's a big difference in when you make it a lifestyle and the whole family's involved with it. It's a bigger difference because I have 2 kids. My son was born when I was unhealthy, and he picked up a lot of my unhealthy habits. And when we started losing the weight, I had to weed him off of sugar and things like that.
How was that for him? How was it for him and your wife when you made the commitment and you're really committed and dialed into this, and you're trying to help your wife and your son make the changes too?
Yeah, for my wife, it was easy because she was on board. It was you're on board no matter what you're gonna do. So, and she was happy with it. But my son, it was really difficult for him because he's used to coming in the house, and this is I'll give you an example of our house. We had cookies, probably 2 bags of cookies. We had 3 bags of chips because we all need our own chips. We can't have one chip. Everybody needs our own bag. Then we had juice. We had a bunch of juice and anything else that's probably 3 or 4 boxes of cereal because we all like our own different cereals. So now I'm introducing him all to big bowls of cereal. Now, taking him off of that stuff, and he's coming home and like, what is this asparagus? What is this green beans? What is all of this? So it's funny because I look at him now and say, wow, I'm glad I did it. At one time, I introduced him to another cereal, and it was, Fiber One. Fiber One's a good cereal, and he was like, oh, what is this? But they had a Fiber One cookie. So I had to say, okay, look, they got a Fiber One cookie and we got Fiber One cereal. Why don't you try this? So I had to weed them off of things like that by hopefully finding a healthy cookie out there that matched what I want them to do, and then eventually just drop the cookie altogether. And it was really difficult. It's just imagine a drug addict going through detox.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a pretty sight when you have to see it. And that's what happened to my son. He was really going through detox because he had nothing but sugar in him. And once we cleansed him out of all that sugar, then he's active, but it's a different active. It's an active of him not being tired because he ate a whole box of cereal and, oh, let's run this off. Okay, now I'm going to sleep. Now he could do it all day without the sleep part of it. And with my daughter on her end, watching her, this is the only thing she knows. So when she goes somewhere else, and, to a birthday party, she'll ask for something healthy. And they're like, well, we don't have that. And it's the funniest thing in the world. And she'll eat my green beans all day. She'll eat my asparagus or my chicken that I eat. She'll eat that all day long because that's what she was introduced to. She know nothing else.
And how old are the kids, Louis?
My son is 8 and my daughter is 3.
So how old was your son when you started making the eating changes for him?
4 or 5. Okay.
So wow. So gosh, that was incredible to really get a handle on that, at that age. Because they said by the time, they say by the time a child is 7 years old, the lifestyle habits are ingrained in them. And
correct. And I totally agree with that. Totally. And it's sad because now I go to his school and I see kids and they're literally overweight, obese style. And I look at the parents and the parents in the obese and it said, something, that kid had no chance. I see kids don't have a chance because they're brought into a world. And if your lifestyle is obese, you're 9 times out of 10, that's what your kids is going to be because they have no choice. This is what you're going to eat. They don't know what's good or bad right now. We're teaching them that. They don't know, oh, this hot dog or this cookie or this, oh, these are bad food. They just like, oh, this is good. Let me eat it. We as parents have to teach that child that. We're the ones that have to say, you know something, we really got to look at this a little bit differently because we're teaching them a bad thing. And I seen it both hands with both of my kids. And my daughter, she is the fitness guru in the family because, you know, she came to the show. And if you say, you know, show me your muscles, she'll do the same exact poses I did on stage.
Oh, how cute.
And it's the funniest thing in the world. It's so funny to see that and knowing that, you know, she doesn't go and run to the goodie aisle. She'll run to the fruit aisle, you know, but let's get a pineapple or, you know, the fruit snacks of pineapple cups or peach cups, something like that. So
share with our guests for a second some of the ways that they can increase their energy with different types of foods.
A lot of times I do a lot of fruits, and the company that I'm with as well is a company called Isogenic. So I use a lot of their products that keeps me energy wise because I love their products. But if you don't want to do the juicing and things like that, you know, from liquid, just get a bunch of fruit and vegetables. What we stock up on, and I just got put onto this probably about a month ago. You know the little oranges, the cuties, I think they're called. Those are the best things in the world.
My kids love those.
Yes, those are the best things in the world. I never seen these before until probably about a month or 2 months ago when my wife started buying them, and the kids love them to death. And I'll eat them all day long. You know, I'll go out and about and cut it open, and you could just pop the whole thing in your mouth. It's like one big Tic Tac.
Yeah, if I buy a bag of them too, I mean, they're gone right away. I mean, the other thing that my kids, you know, and I love listening to, you know, the different information you're sharing because, you know, I had a second crop of kids in my 40s, and so it ended up being twins. And so, you know, the twins have literally grown up with healthy food. And so salads has been one of those things that the girls could literally eat every single day. I mean, and they love everything in them. They love broccoli in them and cucumbers and, you know, and I always tell them too, you know, I try to be mindful of making sure that they understand what types of foods actually give them energy for longer periods of time. And that, you know, when they were young, I used to break it down into the colors of the vegetables, like broccoli and green beans and asparagus will actually lengthen their energy span for longer periods of time. And now they know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. I was never an asparagus fan. I was never a broccoli fan. Right. Green beans, I was never a fan of none of these foods. But it's so funny now, I can't live without them. And they do a lot of amazing things once you just start to make it a lifestyle. And right now I'm dieting. So it's funny because I know the difference between dieting and lifestyle now.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you. So what's the difference?
The difference right now, I'm doing 4 shows this year, and my first one is April 29th up in Washington. It's called not the Idaho Cup, the Emerald Cup that I'm doing, and I'm dieting for that show. But once this year is over, or once that show is over, I will stay in the lifestyle, and the lifestyle is still eating healthy. But maybe I don't have to be as strict that I am right now. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm real strict of what I eat, the measurements and things like that. Now, when I go back to my healthy lifestyle, now instead of just doing a cup of green beans, I will do a bunch more, mm-hmm. you know, or measuring out that chicken. You know, now I'll do chicken and maybe I'll put a little bit of barbecue sauce on it, mm-hmm. or just to flavor it out, because I know I'm not dieting for a show. Mm. You know, it's something like that. It's certain things that I want to stay in the lifestyle, but when I'm dieting for a show now, because this is the direction, and if you don't know, I'm looking in the next 5 years to become a pro.
Nice.
So I it's like somebody who went and did one marathon and now they just can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
I got that bug now to continue to
You
do
got
it.
the fever.
Yeah, pretty much. So but now I'm dieting a strict diet for these 4, just to change my body completely where I am right now. Because I was the first show I was 235, and then I got up to I went back to my comfortable weight about 270, 280, and then I started January 4th dieting, and now I'm at 263. So
awesome.
it's amazing when you could just let's do this and just jump right back into it. And so that's the difference between dieting the way I'm doing it and living the lifestyle. And I want people to start a diet so to get you moving, but then transition your mind and say, you know something, this is going to be my lifestyle.
Right.
That's how I think the difference should be. You know, just don't say I'm a diet for a certain time period. You have to go from diet to say, okay, where's the point where I'm going to say this is going to be my lifestyle? And now you're not losing weight to reach a goal. You're just staying in a healthy way of eating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that quite a bit, because one of the things that I, suggest with my clients is, first of all, to let go of all the subjective times that they tried in the past, because a lot of people don't realize that when they set that intention to, they want to call it a diet, and one thing that happens when they call it a diet is they subjectively go back in their mindset to the time they did it before and the time they did it before that. And then what happens is while they're analyzing and rationalizing and scrutinizing those previous attempts, they're conjuring up feelings. Those feelings that are, really setting the tone for the current experience. And that's why I tell people, let all that go. That's over. What we're dealing with right now is the commitment you're making right now and the baby steps that you're going to take throughout today and today only. Tomorrow hasn't even shown up yet, The day that you take those steps forward. And, and I tell them, listen, if you've set the intention to eat a certain amount of meals today, and let's say that, you get to your lunch meal and you screw up, or you eat something more than was on your original plan, not to look at it as failure or that you screwed up, but look at it as, wait a minute here, in another 3 hours, I have an opportunity to choose again. And I'm going to choose to stay moving forward on that plan.
And it's so funny, because when you think of diet, people always say, oh, I got to stop eating certain things and got to stop doing this. Yes, that's correct. But this weekend, my trainer put on 2 cheat meals for me, Friday and one Friday and one Sunday. And I had a burger and onion rings on Friday, and then Super Bowl last night. And I last night, the scale probably said, 269 or 270. And I was like, wow. But I go wake up this morning, it's down to 264. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Isn't it awesome?
How you could just balloon up for that moment, and then minute it goes through you, it goes back to where you were. And so I'm sitting there like, this is absolutely amazing how food works. But and I'm understanding the cheat meals more. Those are just revving up your metabolism for that quick burst.
That's right.
It's all it is just revving it up. It might have slowed down for a second. Okay, let's put some real stuff, in you to get that jump start. I think of it as a car, and as a jump start, boom, there you go. Now you can't go and do it every single day.
No, right.
Just like your car battery. You're not going to jump it every single day, but if it dies, let's jump it up right now. And then it goes and it's going to do what it thing, and it's going to burn the fat that needs to be burned.
Right. So how would one get started? I mean, if, we have, different people in our viewing audience who are listening in on the message, and, they might have that desire to get started right where you were at when you were at that 350 pounds, and you're taking the first steps to change your eating. Now, how would they go about doing that? And then how would they go about creating a workout plan?
One, you have to make that decision through your mind to say, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this started. You have to do that. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Make the decision that you're going to do it. I made that decision. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look into it. Let's look at losing weight. And I didn't go in there and say, no, I'm going to lose all this weight. I just said, okay, let's just figure it out and see what can we do. Then from that moment, you really have to make that commitment to yourself and say, how can I do it? Then you have to find certain ways. There's tools all over the internet that you could go to find workout plans. You know, a good one is through bodybuilder.com. They have, you know, excellent free plans. Look onto it, read other people's stories. That's what really helped me a lot. I read somebody else's story who was about my size and he lost 100 pounds. Well, what's the difference between that person and me? He started a year ahead of me. Mm-hmm. That's the only difference. Once you decide to start and decide to say, I'm going to make a lifestyle change, then, or you want to lose weight, the best thing that I think I did was tell every single person that I knew and I didn't know. You know, post it on Facebook, do it everywhere, because you're going to need accountability.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
You're gonna need accountability partners. I mean, I was meeting up people, you know, out and about, and oh yeah, I just started this weight loss program. Now, Boise is not that big. Maybe California might not work, or where you're at. You're in Arizona, mm-hmm. correct? Maybe it might not work that well because in California or in Arizona, you have so many people. So if you see somebody on a Sunday, you might not see that person again. But at least I know in Boise, if I see somebody on a Sunday, the likelihood I'm gonna see them at that same place, yeah, it's a lot higher. So I didn't want to have that person ask me 3-4 months down the line to say, hey, didn't you start a weight loss program? How's it going? It's not. I didn't want that.
Right, no, I agree.
I wanted people to not even ask me. I wanted them to say, hey, you look good. I see the changes in you. Oh, you do? You know, that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted all of those folks to come up to me somewhere else in Boise and say, oh, you look good. You know, your face has changed. Oh, I see you're getting smaller. What you doing? That's what was the really big key to it. Telling everybody, even if you don't know them and you spark up a conversation, have that come up. This is what I'm doing in my life. Hey, I just started a workout plan, or I just started, losing weight. Oh, you did? Oh, good job. Everybody's going to say good job at the beginning, but you don't want that person to say, yeah, that doesn't look like it's working for you. You don't want that conversation. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think that was probably the major biggest thing that happened to me. And I didn't know. I didn't plan on it. I just started telling people, and I'm that type of person to talk to a lot of folks. So I just, all right, let's do it. Let's start telling more people, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you? I mean, I'm a believer that when you set an intention to do something, what also comes up is the absence of that or the contrast of that. How did you deal with those mindset conversations or self-talk that might have come up inside of you? How did you shift that when you were having moments of maybe being hungry or even that you cheated?
I had a plan. My plan was to stay alive. Mm-hmm. I can't. There's not a secret weapon to get past those moments. They are hard and they will come, but I knew I got to stay alive.
Did you talk to yourself when that happened? When those moments came about, was there something in particular you said, or
Honestly, no. I knew what I wanted to do. I got scared into this. Fear was my motivation.
Right.
I was so scared of leaving, and it comes down to me leaving my kids at a young age, how my dad left me at a young age. And I knew, I'm 41 right now and I still got dad issues.
Yeah.
I got those issues right now because of his death and certain things that I had to learn along the way growing up without a dad. So that was my whole motivation to saying, wait, I can't do that to my son. I will not do that to my son and my daughter to have them grow up the way I did and still have dad issues at 41 years old, and he died when I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
That was my whole thing. That was the whole motivation. Stay alive, Lou. You got to stay alive. Okay, get into the kitchen. Let's make meal prep on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a meal prep everything on Sundays. I knew what I was going to eat from Sunday to Saturday until next Sunday. I knew exactly what I was going to eat. I took to work. I had my bag, went there. I knew each 3 hours what I was going to eat. There was no ifs, ands, buts about it. And I made it that way for that particular reason.
Well, was there anything in particular that you would eat when you got hungry? Because people deal with, the hunger pangs. A lot of my clients have talked to me about, I'm just so hungry, and, these hungry pangs, and, I feel these like hyperglycemic or these energy shifts. Is there something in particular I can eat in between?
I drank a lot of water.
I was going to say, that's what I drink. Yep.
I got a gallon of water to kind of fill me up, and it kind of faked through those moments from that, that 2 o'clock to the 6 o'clock or the 4 o'clock, I should say, 4 or 5 o'clock. So if you fill your stomach with water, you're going to be full. It's not going to be hungry. You're going to be so bloated, and the time it dissolves out of you, it's that time. Oh, I got another meal coming along. So that's probably what I did. I still do. I drink a gallon of water every day. It's probably the one of the hardest things to do, but as long as I drink most of it throughout the day, you're going to drink it at the gym. So that's how you finish it. And I tried to front load drinking water because, you're going to be up all night. So if you front load it, if I could drink most of it by 3 o'clock, 3, 4, I go to the gym at 7, so I know I only have a quarter, a little bit to drink at 7. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's not a superfood or a secret food out there. It's more about your determination of what you want to do and what you have to do to get to that point. That's what your why has to be bigger than you. And my why was bigger than me. And if you don't have a why bigger than you, you're going to quit.
I used to ask that question, is my why worthy of me?
Oh.
Because, the truth is, when I had those moments of, because there were those moments when I was getting ready for shows myself where I was just so unbelievably hungry. But what I also had done was I knew what foods helped in those in-between times. And so, for example, broccoli was one of those things that I could just chew on. And believe it or not, I knew psychologically that it would fill me up and give me energy for longer periods of time. So it was just broccoli and water, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being one of those things where that was my go-to food. That was my superfood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I get it. You have to have that, and it's and I know you and I we've been on stage, so it's a different mindset to somebody who's just trying to diet, but it's the same process of what you have to do when you're. I meet a lot of people now that's getting show prep ready. It's funny talking to individuals who have that mindset doing show prep dieting than individuals that's just trying to lose weight. I had to shift from that to show prep style. Before it was just, okay, I got to lose weight. Now, I'm doing a show. It's a completely different mindset. And you still have to remember, why do I want to stay in this lifestyle? Well, okay, medical bills when I get older might be lower because I might not have to take all these, heart pills. That's a good why. Or let's say if you're just trying to, fit into a dress, that could be a good why for a moment. But once you get there, then you're like, I kind of like this size. And then you stay there. So it doesn't have to be a long why. It just has to be something that could keep you accountable going forward. Right. That's what it has to do. And I get, that superfood with the water and broccoli. That's funny. Because I understand it. I understand what you have to go through. But just if you're just trying to lose weight, and I know people hate the word diet. I understand that. But It is what it is. It's the reality of what you're trying to do. Lose weight, diet, lifestyle switch. You say tomato, I say tomato. It does not make a difference. Your mindset has to be right to do this. That's why I try to talk to individuals who are obese, because it's not about the diet, it's about their mindset. And if your mindset is not ready, you will fail. How many people that you talk to that has, before and after, or a whole bunch of before pictures. Yep. Everybody got before pictures, but there's no one has an after picture.
Right.
Not too many people have an after picture.
Right. We
could start. Most people could start, just think of New Year's. The gym right now is packed.
Right.
For where we're in February, I'm looking at another 3 weeks. It's going to go back to normal. And that's sad to say.
No,
but that's the reality of it. Since January 4th, it's been a lot of people in there, and it's like a traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're in February. What day is this? February 8th.
Yeah.
I give it to the 22nd. The 22nd to the 29th, that people are just gonna fall off one by one. And I always try to think, if one person could pass that mark, because it'll take about a good 3 weeks to say I'm gonna do this, and then another 3 or 4 weeks to kind of stay in it. That's where I think the boundary point. A good book is I can't think of the name of the book. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And there's a story in there, and he talks about the miners, and they was trying to dig for gold, and they kept digging. They was in a mine, and they kept digging, and then they quit. The next person that came behind them had to dig 3 inches, and they found all the gold.
I know. Isn't that a crazy story?
Yes, and that's the same thing what happens when people hit that mark of losing weight. They'll dig, they might not see nothing, and then all of a sudden, if you keep going, it just happens, and the weight will just start to drop off. Because your weight's not going to drop off at the beginning. Your metabolism has to speed up. Right. So it's going to take a little while, and then once it do, it's gonna drop like wildfires, because it's all your metabolism is going, and now every week you gotta see 2 pounds going, 2 or 3 pounds going. It's just going to happen, but it takes a little time, and you just have to hold on to go through it.
I love that you shared that. And you know what? That's why I created the exercise program. One of the exercise programs that I have, I turned into video, and it's called 60-Second Solution. Because what I really wanted people to identify with was how to apply exercise in a way to get started. And so one of the things I knew as a life mastery coach, just like you said earlier, that mindset is, one of the biggest obstacles. And so what I wanted to be able to do was to create belief in people. And so how do you do that? So I started out where I, started to share with people that when you do a 60-second movement, which you can do anywhere, you can do at the office, you can go to the bathroom and do it in the bathroom at the office, you can do it right there at your desk. But the point being is when you do a 60-second movement, full out, and then you deep breathe for 60 seconds by repaying the debt, what happens is your body burns body fat as well as releases anti-aging, testosterone, sugar burning, fat burning. But the point being here is it does it every hour for a period of 24 hours. So you're actually burning 2 times the body fat than you would if you were doing a traditional 1-hour exercise program. And that builds people's belief, because if people believe that they can do something, that they can start to do movement in this way, then they're going to do eventually what you're doing over time.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And how long you been doing it?
Well, I've been involved in fitness and health for 30 years. I mean, I started out literally obese like you, and I had a desire in the 80s to, merge into bodybuilding and fitness when bodybuilding and fitness was just getting started. And I was a power lifter in Europe. I had gone to live in Germany with my husband, who got stationed there, and the Army powerlifting coach approached me and says, "Hey, would you like to join the Army powerlifting team?" And I said, "Sure." And so initially I started weightlifting as a very large, overweight woman. And then I kind of got the bug like you're talking about, and came back to the US and started to, make the changes necessary. But, it was an evolution of the changes that happened in that industry that created a lot of the experiences that I had, and then eventually brought me to where I am right now, which is about, really like you, helping people to make that commitment and to connect them with who they are on the inside, along with the feelings of joy and happiness and the willingness to be themselves. And I think that, that makes such a huge shift in, how they progress each day, is recognizing that they are worthy and deserving of this. And then on top of that, that they can do it.
Yep. And there's nothing special about myself, you probably say the same thing. There's nothing special about what you are. There's nothing special about trainers. I hear trainers have discussions all the time. There's nothing special about any of us. The only thing that separated us to say, something, let's make this change, we said yes. That's how I look at, me following God. It just, there was a long time that, I was out there in the world, and the minute I said yes, that's when things change, and that's what I want to convey to individuals. You have the power to do anything if you just say yes. Okay, let's do this. Let's make this change. Let's do something different, because we know what this path is already telling us, the right path. We already know what this is going to tell me. Okay, what if I go down to the left path? And that's anything in life. Even with, like I said, I'm a network marketing professional, and I know what 9 to 5 looked like for most people. I just said, what if I go to this side and do something from 5 to 9, and leave that legacy? And what happens if I go on to the left side? I could always go back to what everybody else is doing, but I decided to go on a different track. Yeah. It's not going to kill me. I'm just curious to see what's down there. That's how I got to Boise. I know it was in New York, where I'm from. Let's go over here and see what's over here. And look what happened. I been here for 10 years, married, 2 kids. Who knew? Right.
I love that. I love your openness to that. And that's one of the things that I'd like to convey to people as well, is that when you open yourself up to a desire within you, just as Lewis said, and you say yes, I'm a believer when you get out of the way of the how, but just simply allow, every avenue, channel, and opportunity to reveal itself, it will. Because, when you have belief and then you have faith, there's infinite ways that the how can reveal itself. And a lot of people say, and I want to ask you this question, because, one of the things I get quite a bit from people is their struggle financially, their struggle with money. And they'll say, oh, but I can't do this because I don't have the money to be able to afford food. I don't have the money to be able to, afford a gym membership. Do you think that there's a link to a healthy lifestyle from financial fitness?
Yeah, it is. But I believe everybody can afford it, because what you're doing, you're not spending more money than you already are. What you're really doing, and now here's the financial advisor of me coming out.
I'm ready.
This is what happened. I used to talk to people about retirement plans, and you're not spending more money. You're taking the money that you already have and transferring it to something else. So if you think about it, let's say you have, a nutritional plan, and it costs about $300 and you have to buy food on top of that. Well, if your food bill is $400, you're already cutting that in half, because you're not going to buy the cookies and the sodas and the juice and all that. So you're already saving money on that. So now you're just buying the healthy stuff. So now that's just $150, maybe $200 right there. You got $200 now, and even more because the fast food you used to do, because at lunchtime everybody goes downtown or goes to their favorite food spot where that's almost $10 a day every single day. All of that money in the month, that's another $100 right there. So now you got $300 to find a nutritional plan that's out there, and that's where it goes. All you're doing is just transferring money. You're not buying a nutritional plan or buying a gym membership with the money that you're already spending out. All you're doing is transferring it from one end to the other. That's the mindset, what you have to think of. And I had to do this all the time, but it was just with stocks. What do you spend your money on? Oh, I got a Verizon bill. Okay, you spend Verizon, you got a Verizon bill all the time. Okay, let's find something else that we could put money into Verizon because you like Verizon. Why don't we buy stock with Verizon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense. Exactly. I know it makes sense, but you have to have a coach or someone to talk you through that process because we don't, a couple of things we don't learn in school. We don't learn about money in school and all the way up to college. You're dead broke the minute you come out. And we don't learn about really nutrition growing up. Those are two things you don't learn about. So what we learn is what our parents know. And if our parents don't know it, how can we know about it? It's just that simple.
Right. Such a good point. Because when I was growing up, the first thing that the model behavior that was given to me is there's not enough and money doesn't grow on trees and you better eat every single thing that's on your plate or you're going to bed.
Yep. That's the typical lifestyle. You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about money. And that's about it. You learn what we know, and what we know is probably limited. But now there's so much information out there, and it's a good and bad thing. But when I look at it as the good thing, all you do is get online and say, okay, what's a good meal plan? What's a good workout? It's information is right at your fingertips. It wasn't rocket science for me to pull up the website and say, oh, okay, what's here? And I just started reading on things. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I just try to act like it, but I'm far from it. And I just wanted to change. And my passion right now, that's why I left being a financial advisor in last June to do what I'm doing now, to become, a distributor of isogenics, because I believe it's one thing that I can help people with health and finance all at once. It just makes sense to me.
That's so awesome. I do the exact same thing as you. I'm a believer that the quality of questions you ask yourself determines the quality of life you live. And you have to be willing to ask questions because that spirit within you will answer you. And it is amazing where those answers will come from. They can come from the grocery store, walking down an aisle, and somebody's talking about what you've asked inside yourself. I get on the internet, and if I have a question, I literally type in on the internet, on Google, the exact question that I'm asking. And all these amazing answers come up.
Yep.
Yeah,
anybody could do a lot of things in this world just by typing a question on your computer. Back in the days, it was the encyclopedia, and you have to look those up. The brown encyclopedias or the green and the white ones, and it was kind of difficult. But now it's just anybody could do it and change your lifestyle. Just read more and understand the direction where you want to go, especially when it comes to health. But don't let your own, I don't want to say laziness because I wasn't lazy. Don't let your own self get in your way of making yourself a tad bit happier, because I can tell you right now, being 350 and being where I am right now at 260, I'll never go back to 350. And yes, I was happy then, but I think I'm happier now. So I know people, I'm hearing the thing now, oh, love your body the way you are. Yes, love your body where you are, but know the bigger you are, the more health problems you're going to have. It's just that simple. The facts back it up. It backs it up. My life backs it up. I'm not trying to be 350 pounds again. I don't want to even see 300. So and I am completely happy because I know I have a longer life to live with my family, and I know I'm gonna be there a lot longer.
That's awesome. So, Louis, what is the message that you want to share with our guests today? As they leave, give us a message and how they can connect with you further, to maybe work with you, or what you're doing right now that is really, I guess, keeping you moving forward in your goal to help others make that an important change and habit in their lives.
First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity, and I do again apologize for the video feed. I think I didn't want to click nothing, but I kind of think I figured it out. But I'm like, no, let's just roll where we at. Couple of things. My message is for individuals. My website is 5to9legacy.com.
Can you punch that into the screen for us on the side where it says send a message so that they can get a hold of you?
Sure. It's a brand new website, and it's still up, just going up. It's not pretty, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles where it is right now. But I wanted to put something up there, because 5 to 9, I'm a fan of Batman, and if you think about Batman, he was from 9 to 5. He was Bruce Wayne, and he did everything what he's supposed to do as Bruce Wayne. But from 5 to 9, he was Batman, and that's where the legacy really is all about. And having that legacy for you, I think that what you have to be that person. You have to become a Batman, because you could do 5 to 9. You could do your 9 to 5 and go to work, come home, and sleep. But what legacy are you leaving? So I just said, something, why don't we think about being Batman and leave a legacy, a longer legacy, a lasting legacy for not only yourself, but for your family, and pass things down, money down, or your health down, the way you eat. That's what it's all about. So my message is from 5 to 9. What are you doing outside of that? And for me, it was going to the gym. That's what I did from 5 to 9. Nothing got in front of that. Kids have things to do. Yep, we'll do it. We'll take care of it. But I'm going to the gym. So it's 5to9legacy.com, faith, fitness, and finances. Those are the really 3 things that's really, 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 really important to me. Because without those 3 things, I wouldn't even be here sitting here talking to you.
Great. Awesome. So go ahead and punch that in on the screen for us so they have a way to connect with you and reach out to you. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I wished we could have seen your face, because it's just so awesome to connect with you on that level. But I totally and absolutely understand. We'll have to continue on with this subject and have you on to the show again. So I want to thank you so much, Louis, for really sharing with us your journey, your message. And by the way, he is getting ready to compete this year in his second transformation, as he's mentioned to us on the show. So, let's all give him claps for that and support for that. I want to welcome you for joining the show today, and thank you all for participating. My name is Sherry Gideons. I am an international speaker. I am a life mastery coach, radio and TV host, and a former retired professional figure bodybuilder myself. So anyway, I want to thank you again, and you can go on to the show website at wholelifeliving.com to see about upcoming shows and topics, and to connect with me further. You can also visit my main site at sherrygideons.com, and I want to thank you again for joining me today, and please visit the show next week. So thank you so much, and have a great day.